Hi, you guys. This is Ginger Cook, and we're going to be doing an acrylic painting on a Friday.
Oh, no
Wow,
way.
this is like Surprise Friday. So those of you who got our newsletter, kind of bulletin, I don't think we should call it a newsletter. We should call it a news bulletin. And
No,
then
it's
we should have a
an
newsletter,
announcement.
John, and a news bulletin. Well, if you got a better word for that, we'd love to hear it too. Want to thank you for coming. We're going to be doing something really exciting today. We're going to be showing you some tricks on painting a glass vase with a green background, but also this painting, someone's going to win this painting.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I'm
Are
telling
you
you what,
kidding
9 by
me?
12. It's over retail in the gallery would be over $400.
And we're
And,
just giving it away.
and yeah, someone will win it today.
We're not going to win it today.
Well, you won't win it today, but someone will be. You'll have an opportunity to enter to win
There you go.
this picture. Okay. And what we think is kind of neat about this is that glass just intimidates people. Painting glass and stuff can be intimidating. This is just I saw this photograph. I was so excited to share it with you. I thought this would make the most beautiful painting, and we're going to be doing that. I'm going to show you some features that we've got our normal holiday auction is now our air conditioning auction. And we'll tell you more about that. But when we came back from our trip Monday, we came in and neither air conditioner worked, and now we're just sort of gagging on the bill to get at least one fixed and the other one replaced. So anyway, it's our air conditioning auction.
More of that coming up.
And more of that coming up. And don't worry if you can't paint along. We'll be answering questions. Put them in all caps. Do we have any mods here? We sprung
Do we
these
have
on
any
them.
mods? Do we have any mods? Of course, we've got Liz 2, Luann,
Hi, Luann.
Steffi,
Hi,
and
Steffi.
Lynn from the Canadian office.
And we sprung this on everybody like Friday, right? This morning, like I think it's like noon. We told people, "Hey, I have an idea. Let's go fly. What are you going to paint? I don't know. Let me find something." And look what I found. John, put it down on the table.
Wait. Let me push a button.
Look at what I found. You guys, you won't believe what I found. Guess. Isn't that a gorgeous photograph? Look at that. It's like a painting by itself, isn't it?
Oh, I got to turn that off. Yes.
It's really pretty.
It is pretty.
And we felt that in order to do it justice, we had to do it 9 by 12. We had to. Sometimes you just need the bigger thing. This would be beautiful if Eric's watching, like 30 by 40. Eric.
I think Eric's not on.
Or Andrew, if he happens to catch this later.
Do it.
Andrew and Janice and Tara, and there's a bunch of you out there. Janny,
A lot of you big painters.
some of you guys that are doing the bigger paintings, Rachel.
Oh, Andrew is in the house.
Hi, Andrew. Hi. So anyway, some of you, this would definitely, how does this translate it? I think it would be good. What's the translation, John, between a 9 by 12? What are your next sizes to keep it in proportion?
12, 16, 18, 24, 36, 48. Oh, 36 by 48. That would be gorgeous.
If you did it that large, if you did it 36 by 48, remember, when you get the traceable, we'll give you the actual photograph too, so that which we buy these photographs from the photographers, and so you could maybe you see something I don't see. I mean, you're like Mrs. Magoo over here sometimes when I look at stuff. It's really funny. So just because I did it doesn't mean that that's the best idea. You may have a better one. Oh,
Absolutely.
gosh, that's a thought. It's like years ago when I was learning to sew. I went to a special sewing class in all my friends, because we used to, instead of it was like 4, 5, or 6 weeks. Well, sometimes she was little, like a baby. We lived in Aspen, and buying clothes in a tourist town for a kid was very expensive. So I learned to sew, and so me and a bunch of my friends from church, we all tootled down the 4 hours into Denver, and we stayed at a cheap motel. We all it was on the cheap, man. And we spent all our money on this class. And the biggest shock to me on this sewing class was a guy was explaining that the patterns that you bought, back then they were $1 or $2. Now they're like 12 or 13. Times have gone up. But anyway, he was explaining that they can be wrong. I'm going, what do you mean they can be wrong? I always thought it was me. Hey, this is an eye-opening thing. They could be wrong. Dude, how is that possible?
It's not.
What do you mean they're wrong? And they can be wrong. And like, for instance, here's another eye-opener they shared, that when you're looking at, say, haute couture clothes, or even just something as nice as a dress you might buy in Macy's, the pattern for that dress cost thousands of dollars. Okay, even back then. Now, here, conversely, you're paying $3 for pattern. What do you get, right? So this is free, so I could be wrong, right? Do you
I don't
love
see
it?
how it's possible.
I can be wrong. So just because I did it doesn't mean I'm necessarily right. This is how I see the world today. Now, here was the photographer, and I thought what he did that was wrong was that he didn't give us enough space between the top of the flowers and the top of the picture. So John made the traceable just a little bit smaller, so we'd have at least a few more. We'd have at least a little bit of breathing room. See how this? You see how this one is almost up to the top? We just dropped it down a bit. All right. Now this is a board. I would have preferred a dark green board, but we didn't have one. So this is what we've got. This is a Dick Blick board, canvas board.
Kind of evaluating it as compared to our normal ones.
Yeah, and so anyway, we're using that. We're going to go ahead and trace this on, and well, we're not going to do that yet because what we know is for sure. I always say, do you write that down? What do I know for sure?
And
Well,
there's going to be a test.
Yeah, what do I know for sure? And I know for sure that the background's green and the table isn't. Well,
Whoa, that is so profound.
I know. It's just the wisdom that comes out here is phenomenal, isn't it?
It really is.
So if I know that for sure,
What you do, because you said so.
Because I just told you,
Yeah.
right? So there's no, what I could do is I could mark off where the table goes, which would be about right, like yay.
For those that would get a ruler out and
Yeah,
afraid
with
that, that's what
rulers.
I would do. But
And then I will use a T-square because I don't want my vase falling on the floor. So I'm going to have a T-square. There you go. There. So everything below here is table. So now I only have to deal with this. Now I'm not using Salvador paints tonight. I'm using our heavy body paints for a painting like this. And it's a little bigger. And I want to use this Bristol-on silver round brush. And I want to hold it like this. You see this? You see, I have paint all over my hands already because I've been getting paint out. And I'm going to, instead of doing this, which we're not doing, no, none of this, right? Yes? We're going to use the side of it. We're going to make circles, and we're going to keep rolling the brush. And if you stay in one spot, you'll dig a hole. And friends, you can't fix that.
nope.
So you got to do
I've
it
done
just the way I said, or do something else, okay? So I'm going to take some phthalo green, and I'm going to come up here in the corner, and I'm going to just go over this dark blue. And that's nice. And I'm going to get a little more and maybe a tiny bit of yellow, just a little bit. All right. And I'm going to come up here and roll it. I want it darker in the corners and lighter as I get toward the middle. Okay. So this a little bit more phthalo green. Let's come on. Ooh, there's a big glob of that there. Here, take some new stuff here. All right. So a little bit of phthalo green here. Maybe I'll take a little bit of blue here. There you go. That's a little bit of phthalo blue. Now, if you didn't have phthalo green, what could you use? If you had my quintessential color mixing journal, you'd know. But you could use ultra phthalo blue and a little bit of yellow and a little bit of ultramarine blue might help. Take a little bit of the blue up here for the top. I want a little tiny bit of yellow here. That's cad yellow medium. And just a little bit darker up here. I mean, don't get too...
You're using no water with this.
No
correct?
water with this
No
brush.
water.
No water.
No
okay?
water.
Gosh, it's not a watercolor, you guys. Now we're going to keep going with the green because I want to kind of, you see how I'm always getting the edge. I can hold it like this, and I'm painting from my shoulder, not my wrist, okay? Okay, and there we go. We're going to come on down here like this, and I want to make sure I've got everything kind of flat. And then as I get down the middle, I'm going to take some zinc white. I'm going to start in here like this and put a little yellow with it because it goes a little green on you. All right, so that's more. I'll take a little raw umber because that's too bright. There we go. I'm going to tone that down. Now, as I come up into here like this, into my darker colors, I'm going to go ahead and, pushing pretty hard, I'm going to blend these edges in. This is not a patchwork quilt, and you don't want it to be that. Now, we've done a few paintings like that. Some of our old dead artists that we do on, got a lot of those on YouTube, and one of the things that's sort of nice about them is that little bit of white here. Let's just lighten this up a bit. is that they give you some different ideas for doing backgrounds. You don't just have to paint a canvas like a wall and then put something on it. You'll see a lot of new artists, they'll do that. Now here's some darker green again, and I'm just gonna got a little glob, so I'll put that over there. Now I've got this line right here. Zoom in on this, John. So what you want to do once you got something like that is wipe all the paint off your brush, like that. Just wipe it off. So now you're dealing just with this spot and this spot, and then rub it in and feather this out. Okay? Learning how to dry brush is so key because you can't do the advanced paintings without it. I had somebody send me in an advanced, one of our 5 cookie lessons today, and the bad thing is that the good thing was that all the colors were correct, but the artist hadn't learned to do dry brushing. And if you can't do dry brushing, this is really a form of that. It's very difficult to do more advanced pictures. Here, that's a little bright, but I think we're going to be okay with that. I want just a little bit lighter up in here. Okay.
A great looking background.
Yeah, this is pretty, isn't it? And you see how we're doing that, right? Now, I know that, for instance, if I kind of look at my reference photo, my vase is going to go kind of like that. So I've got to come out about, I think, a little more up in here with the light. So try a little bit of the zinc white here. And I'm going to come up a little bit, and I want a little tiny bit of this yellow in it. There we go. And I just, no water on the brush. And I'm pushing really hard now. And I'm going over the edges, and I'm feathering them out, okay? So I want this lighter. And it's still a little green. I want a little bit of raw umber with this. Let's say a little bit of raw umber and yellow, and maybe a little yellow oxide. A little bit of green here. Let's try this color. There you go. Now, if I needed to do more than this, to avoid holes, right? I mean, I can always come back and around the edges and do a little bit of something, right? But to avoid holes, I would need to dry it and do a second layer, okay? That would be the most beneficial thing to do. I haven't really done that much down in here. What's this bluer? Okay, so here we go. Just come down in here, and you get a feel for this. Eventually, you'll get a feel for how hard you should push and how not. And you see, even though it was a purple background, it worked pretty well because we've got these dark flowers right up in here. This section up here, there's these dark flowers, and this will blend very nicely in with my vase. Now, here's a little bit of this gold color, which is a little bit of yellow oxide. And, you know, if I wanted it to just, yellow oxide has a bit of red in it. And so what happens is that you can kind of tone down the green. If it gets too blue for you, and you didn't want it that blue, you can vary the greens a little bit, which is pretty. Okay, and let's come on all the way down a little bit lower than this. And I'm just kind of using the rest of my paint on my brush to do that. Let's put a little of this gold down here. Okay. All right, now a little bit of the dark blue. Any questions, John?
That'd be a negative there, Queenie.
All right, so that got too blue, so let's put a little more green here. There we go. And I don't like that, so let's put a little bit more white there. Let's try titanium now and see what happens. There we go. That really lit it up, didn't it? There we go. Now I've got to be gentle because what's happened is I've put so much paint on this, if I keep pushing hard, I'll dig a hole. But I can do something like that and be pretty successful with it. Okay, so then I'm going to take that brush, and now it goes in water, and that's all we're doing with that. Now I want to take a large brush like this with some burnt sienna, a little bit of zinc white. I'm going to come along here like this.
I missed who the original artist was. This is a photograph.
It's a photograph, guys, which we purchased so that that you guys that are signed up as our Orange members and above can use that as your reference. Like I said, maybe you want to paint it a little bit different than ours, and that's okay. I wouldn't get too far off the track with this. I'm going to put a little bit of magenta in this now, in the
We'd like
table.
to thank Andrew for the donation that came in through the PayPal. I want to help with your AC problem. Hope this helps. Thank you for the impromptu live. Needed that. Been an
Oh,
awful
thank
week.
you, Andrew. That's really,
I think it's everybody's fault. I think we'd have a do-over on this week.
yeah, this week was something. And then you'll never believe this, right? But John brought this program for our new website, for our personal art coaching,
Which is great.
allows us
We
the
love
ticket, this new ticket system. We absolutely love it. But they said,
Okay, let me explain. They give you a trial period. So there's 5 of us all set up, helping Ginger get it all set up. So we had 5 agents. You have to have an agent. And I told them, okay, I want to buy this. They go, we can't buy it until, your trial's over. I go, okay, well, just let me know. Well, they didn't let me know, and it expired, and so our account's locked at the moment. I just got an email back from them. We're moving this up on the chain. We're going to get somebody taking care of you real quick. So
yeah, everybody was busy on the phone. They couldn't talk to us.
So I went back to the
assuming
old
we could
method.
understand
Email,
a word they said
I can tell you,
anyway.
email is the best way to communicate anymore.
Yeah, because nobody wanted to talk to us on the phone. That was for sure. I mean, I just, and there was no way. John tried to buy it. They said your a thing isn't over yet. You see, I'm lightening this. I'm doing a little layers on it.
Hey, I got a question.
Yeah.
Is it easy to upgrade your membership? Absolutely. The new system works great. It even prorates where you are and what you're doing.
And you can cancel it all on your own. You don't have to write us.
Everything is pretty self-explanatory, but use the contact us, tell me what you want to do, and I'll make sure you can do what you want to do. But yeah, it's real easy now. We're loving the new site.
So I want to just mention a little tip here, okay? When I put the brush here, I lift it up.
Is an airplane taking off?
Like an airplane taking off. If you stay there, you see this line you get right there?
That's no good.
That's because you didn't lift the brush. If you do this and lift up.
That's what I do.
You lift and lift. Yeah, just get in the habit of doing that. Lifting up.
Unless you want a line.
Well, then if you want, I don't know what to tell you if you wanted a line, okay? Now, the one thing you probably should never do, we're going to do it anyway, isn't that fun?
But don't do this.
Yeah, is that you want to dry this first, but I want this line to be straight. And I'm just going to take I got it pretty straight, right? I'm just going to take my straight edge here and just go over it like that, one of these. If you don't have one of these, they're like $2 or $3 for the small paintings, a little T-square.
Okay, they're probably $9.95. I mean, $2 or $3 like 10 years ago.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. All the years I've been, dealing with art tools, usually when you see T-squares, they're not translucent. They're you can't see through them. It's very handy to be able to see through a T-square, because then you can see exactly where you want to place it.
If you have a clear one.
So this has to be dry. So I want to just take a minute and show you some stuff really quick. I want to introduce you. I am so excited about our auction. Why? Well,
your fingers. Could you maybe wipe them off before you start?
I don't have the tub of towels and everything here.
Okay, I did not take them from you.
Well, there's only 2 of us here.
Well, you have
the stuffy staff take them?
Let me look.
Did the stuffy staff take them? Did they roll? And oh, I see them. Never mind.
See, they were probably playing. They're doing the log game, the log thingy.
Well, if we had that doorbell thing hooked up, John.
Well, I know what it is. It's my software for the scanner.
You have to run down and open the door, or did he just drive away?
No, he'll drive away.
Okay. But if we had that little doorbell thingy hooked up,
we could look at it and say,
who was at the door. But
yeah,
we don't have that hooked up yet. But, I'm certainly, that would sound like I'm complaining, wouldn't it? Wouldn't do that.
You're whining.
So, all right. So here we go. We've got the tub of towels.
We had a donation come in from Julie. Thank you very much, Julie, through the PayPal system.
Okay. So I want to show, this is one of our auction pieces.
Oh, I love that.
And we have never done a tutorial on this. Isn't this cute? The daisies in the book.
Yeah, we have a couple that we have not
we
done.
just wanted to feature, and we've never shown that. And what's neat is the thing is with the 6x8, if you do a larger frame, then it gets you get some real importance to it. It really is, it's stunning with a larger frame. You'll see museums do that stuff all the time, right? But we really like that daisies in the book. I thought this was one you might really find a fun.
So the question came in, are all of the auction pieces tutorials? No.
No,
We
this
have
is
some that we sketched and never did.
never
much
did
on.
them. Never did a bunch of them. And then here's one you guys may remember from the when we
Quarantine
did
quickies.
quarantine quickies. We did this little boy on the road, kind of with his teddy bear and everything. I think it's kind of sweet. And again, you put it in a larger frame. It has some oomph. Yes.
It looks
Is
gorgeous.
that a good word? Oomph. Has some oomph.
Oomph.
And be prepared to. Now, a lot of people have said they wanted to own a piece of legacy, and they get a little discouraged sometimes in the auction because things seem to go up higher than their budget. But we budgeted stuff for everybody, okay? And we have something called vignettes, and this little snowman. There's like 3 or 4 of these small ones that we have. This one says Joy, and we started these at $5. So all you have to do is when you go to the auction, just register.
The shipping's going to be more than the painting.
Yeah, it should be more than the painting if you manage to get it for $5. We had some Halloween ones, and then we realized that Halloween was over, and I had John take them down.
Yeah.
So it was kind of silly. And
have to wait till next year.
And then we had some different ones, like for instance, like this wolf.
Oh, I love the
wolf.
wolf.
This was one that was a tutorial we did years ago. It's long gone. It's no longer. It was the file was corrupted, so there's no tutorial on this. But I thought the wolf was sort of fun. And I said, we ought to get that out.
Wolf.
And then I got to show you one of my favorite ones. This is, every once in a while you do a favorite thing, right? And I'm going to still have to dry a little bit. Look at the, this is an abstract that we were playing around with. And I said, if I put a paint tube right here, I could really have a neat picture. So it says Cook Studios on the paint tube. And that's that. So I'll show you a few more later. I'm going to take a moment and dry this. And we'll put the vase on. Yes and yes.
Oh, wait.
No?
Wait. You didn't tell me to do things. Hold on a second.
Didn't I just tell you guys? You heard me, right? I said
no, you said you're going to be blabbing.
No, I don't think so, did I?
Yeah, you said you're going to be blabbing. Hold on a second. Let me set up something so I can show some folks the new site.
Well, John's going to show something. He's going to set up. All right, while he's setting up, okay, who didn't love this was a painting challenge we had in our
oh, I love that one. That was a Snapdragon. That's
a Snapdragon. That was a painting challenge. We were doing some photo challenges last year and then got busy and couldn't keep on with it, but that was my version, and I think there really was a tutorial I ended up doing with that, wasn't there, John? I don't remember. Liz, Steffi probably remembers. Judy were here, she'd know.
Somebody knows.
Judy. All right. Poor Judy. I got to just say, Judy's always here. What happened to Judy?
Well, she's here tonight, too.
Is she? With a second, we're going to just give her the second time in less than 2 years, her apartment was flooded. Her condo was flooded by somebody else. And she had to move out so they can fix everything. And she had it took her like almost 8 months to get back in. And it all happened during COVID last time. And now it's happened again. So, Judy wasn't sure she'd make it because she's been moving. So, somebody has to come in and clean your house. You can't. You know what? You think about what you have to do if you think strangers are going to come poke around in your house. You got to get all the underwear off the floor. There's some stuff you got to do, right? Not just pack a few boxes. So anyway, and they wanted to, come in quick. So anyway, thanks, Judy, if you're here. And I don't know if she remembers if this was a tutorial, but that was that. And it went with this YouTube tutorial, which I think these go really good together. What do you guys think? Don't you think these are great together?
Yeah, absolutely stunning.
And I think if you had those as a pair, and just somewhere in the room, I mean, they're happy, aren't they? Happy pieces. Can't say enough about happy pieces.
We have a lot of votes for putting the Halloween pieces back up.
Really?
Yep.
Should we? Because I thought nobody'd want them because we couldn't get them to you before
should include
Halloween.
the Halloween paintings. We can have them ready for next year to display. Halloween is never over. Some people like Halloween all the time.
Okay.
I just hate.
All right. Well, we will mark them down and put them on a special. You won't believe the deal.
We'll have a Halloween closeout special.
Halloween closeout special. It'll be a special section in the auction, and we'll make them really affordable.
We have an
guys.
AC to pay for.
All right. I'm going to dry this now. Yes.
All right,
yes?
go. All right. While she's doing that, I'm going to take you over to our auction site, gingercookauction.com. You've seen it go by. The moderators have been putting it in. This is our new site. If you see something, we have 6 paintings that are showing up right here. The little duck's on there now. You have little arrows, you're going to buzz through them. If you scroll down, I have 10 of them coming up at one time. If you know you want a certain size, say 8 by 10, you can click on the 8 by 10, and it'll show you these are 8 by 10 offerings. It lets you show the starting bid. I don't have any bids on any of those yet. 9 by 12, see we got no starting bids there. 6 by 8, I know we've had some activity on the paint studio. Once a bid has been started, you have the starting bid here, and then once a bid, that's the current bid. And if you just go to it, say you want to bid now, you would go to here, and you have to be logged in, which I'm not. And then it has a suggestion. You can bid directly here, or you can put in a value here. Now, the next bid is $40.53. But if you put in, say you want to do 48, it's going to show $40.53 as the next bid because you haven't been outbid. That's called a proxy bid, or as Ginger refers to it, as a robot bid. And we'll have that little outtake for you at the end of the show where Ginger tries to do an ad for us. So that would do that for you. If you have questions about it, do ask before. Under the auction listings up here, again, you can get to the same type of list. I just like the home page is a newer form. That's when I'm going to be updating these. So let's go back to the regularly scheduled show. And we even turn on our voice.
Oh, good. What's funny about that auction take is I realized that, there was a time when, I don't know, it was about 25 years ago, and I had this really cool friend that I've known her forever. And she convinced me to take an acting class. And she said,
you took an acting class?
Yeah, she said to take it. Well, I didn't make it past the first class, I got to tell you. And it just
surprise.
But she was so funny. She was in her 50s then, right? When she wanted me to take the class. And she said she really thought she could make some extra money doing commercials, which is funny because you've seen my commercials. Obviously, nobody paid me to make any, right? And she says, I don't know what I could advertise. She says, maybe dog food and Depends. I just thought that was funny. She's always funny to me. What I'm doing here is just putting down the Sorel transfer paper, and then I'm going to go ahead and bring this.
The Snapdragon is still over on the beginner's acrylic website. We have to bring that over to the new site.
Oh,
so
all right.
I guess you did do one.
Oh, good. You see, you guys?
I don't know how we missed that then.
Well, you know what? It's just...
Oh, it's probably classified as a challenge and it wasn't put under a regular tutorial.
Okay, yeah, we should add a tutorial because it's a neat tutorial and it was pretty. And it was just sometimes people always say, well, bright flowers. I mean, sometimes bright flowers are what you need. And you can't always... Well, think about it. When's the last time somebody sent you flowers? But you can always...
Oh, is that a hint? Hint.
Well, no, but I'm just saying it's not like, they're considered, kind of a big deal, right? And so and they do make you smile, but here's the thing. There's something kind of nice about just painting some, I need flowers. I'll just paint myself some, or paint them as a gift for somebody and give somebody the gift of a painting of flowers. That can be very nice too. Yes and yes.
Hey, we have Belgium in the house today.
Oh, hi, Belgium.
It's got to be early in the morning or midnight or something. Maybe probably 11.
I'm going to go ahead and outline the vase. Now, here's the trick about a vase, okay? If you drew a line straight down the middle, vases are really easy to freehand. Just whatever happens on this side has to happen on that side. Yes? I mean, you remember when you cut out hearts in school and they had you fold it and have to cut out the heart and one side the heart was accidental? It's the same idea. You can cut out, if you want an unusual shaped vase, you could just kind of draw it on a folded piece of paper and cut it out, and then you'd have you don't have to do it like this. You could just cut yourself out like a little piece of paper vase, and you could several different shapes and put them all over your canvas, see which one you like the best. I just thought this was a very pretty vase.
I think it's a great vase.
It is a great vase.
I'm not really crazy about the murky water. Are you going to do the murky water?
I'm going to do the murky water.
Are you going to do the murky water?
I like the murky water.
Oh. As a stock folder, I would be changing that water.
Yeah, but I never change the water in a vase. I just let them like that till they all die, right? That's probably why I don't get a lot of flowers.
Short-lived, as it were.
Wow. Well,
Well, we'll see how that turns out.
yeah, we could do that.
Absolutely.
Let's
Hey,
see.
really appreciate. Oh, it's 1 a.m. for Lorraine in over there in the. Well, I don't know
Malta.
if she. Well, I don't know if she's in Malta or not. We love you and Ginger, so we're awake, wide awake. That's the
Oh,
spirit.
thank you.
We like to keep the world awake.
Yeah.
You know, we thought about going earlier, but that was a fleeting moment as we were still struggling to put things together. But
you kidding me? I mean, going earlier, we just barely got the auction up, and
oh
then he
my,
forgot a
that's
few pieces, and then of course we've got to put the Halloweeny things back. Oh, we didn't tell you. This is so cool. So John and I felt that it would be nice. I'll keep drawing as I'm telling you this. It would be very nice to have some prints that we created ourselves. So
Giclee.
some Giclee prints, which actually is French for spraying on canvas, and the trick is the ink is archival. It's they're not inexpensive to produce, but they're lovely and they're very nice to have. I'm just going to do a few of these because of these leaves here, because we know that we want. I don't want to get this too far. I want a little bit of freedom to be the arty person I am, right? So I don't think I need all of that in there inside the vase. If I have a general idea where my vase is, which
So
I
you have to
do.
put all the twigs in there? You don't
No,
have to
I will
do-
put my own twigs in.
Oh, okay.
See, I don't need that. I don't need them for the twigs. I know, or I don't think you guys do either. I mean, the twigs. I mean, how hard could that be, right?
Me?
Well,
I'd measure them out.
John would measure them out. Well, you know what I mean. That just maybe there was a snail inside. That would have been good, a snail inside the vase, and then they
It's
would have
still inside
eaten it.
the murky water.
Well, the goldfish maybe, but they would take away. You can't. You have to be careful. I know when I was doing a landscape one time, and actually it was an award-winning painting, and it was all I could do to resist putting. It was like a walkway and some flowers and stuff. It's local arboretum. I want a big award on it, and I had really wanted to just put a yellow police tape across the walkway and a chalk outline of somebody and maybe a high heel shoe. That's where you don't understand the self-control I have to exercise just to come out with very ordinary pictures. I didn't do it and I won, so it was probably a good idea that I didn't.
Hey, we'd like to thank Sharon for the donation that came through PayPal. Thank you, Miss Sharon.
Oh, thank you very much.
Really appreciate each and every one of you.
So, anyhow, you see, I've got my general idea for the vase, and now we'll come back in here and we'll start doing when you're painting stuff, you got to think what's behind what, behind what, behind what. Obviously, the wall is behind the vase. This white flower here, see this one right there? That one is behind the leaf, so that has to go before the leaf, yeah? So you just kind of work your way backwards. But you want to really confuse yourself sometimes? I mean, just majorly confuse yourself.
Well, you did that one time. You painted front to back.
Well, no, do it on a piece of plastic that you're going to turn over, a piece of glass that you have to flip over. Then everything is in total reverse, and you have no idea what you're painting. All right, so we don't want pure white. We want to take some white and a little yellow. We want kind of an off-white, and I want to say that up here like this, there's no water on the brush. Please note that. I'm going to say
Do you ever use water on the brush?
Yeah, to change colors, and then I wipe it off. So here, notice I'm just using this little angle brush like that, and I do the same thing up here.
That would be the new Bristol-on angle brushes with the new Bristol-on bristles.
Yeah, they're just a little bit stiffer. They're really nice. You can use the ruby satin silvers too, and you all have collections of those. But here's a factoid for you.
Ooh, a factoid.
Look at those. Look at that precise line I got with that brush. I mean, that's just amazing, isn't it? And that's because of the sharp edge, is that your brushes wear out. And one of the reasons you sand canvases is to keep your brushes from wearing out. Did you know that? And people don't know that. Yeah, I've learned that little secret from when Cinnamon was going to. If you guys don't know who Cinnamon is, everybody must by now, but she's so famous. was going to junior college, and she wanted to take an art class, and they didn't have enough to make the class. And so because we're taxpayers in the district, I could take it for like free. So I says, I'll take it. And can always learn something from somebody. I'll take it. I'd be happy to take it.
Absolutely.
And
you can't know it all.
No, don't know it all, and who knows what I might learn. So I took it and talked a couple of my friends into going, so that she would have. And it was fun to take a class with my daughter too. And so I took it. Well, the lady that gave the class told me that about the about your brushes wearing out, sanding your canvas, and I guess I'd never thought about it. Never thought about it, that might be true.
Do they wear out?
That they will. That if you don't sand your canvas, they wear out really quick. I knew they wore out. I just figured it was.
Well, you're going against sandpaper.
Yeah.
What you're doing.
Yeah. So I had no idea.
So you learned something.
Yeah, I mean you can. And then the other thing I learned in that class was how to stretch a canvas. And if you don't know how to stretch a canvas, I actually have a video on that, how to stretch a fine out canvas, and you really ought to watch it. Everybody should know how to stretch a canvas. Because sometimes if you're traveling, what you can do is you can just bring just a regular canvas, allow, say, 3 inches to wrap around, do gallery wrap, and just paint. And when we were painting in France with my daughter, that's how I got the stretcher bars in pieces in the suitcase, and I think the biggest I did was 30 by 40, and I just took the canvas, and then restretched it when I got there. So that's just a kind of a interesting thing. This is yellow oak raw sienna. This color right here is raw sienna.
Great color. The beginning of the murky water.
Beginning the murky water.
For those of you who are just joining us, we are starting our auction today.
It is
and it's going to run through November 10th. And we'll be adding things to it from time to time as we go through it. And apparently Halloween's coming back. We've had a lot of demand for our Halloween that we took off.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna put the Halloween up because I thought that would be this is brown. Like burn umber.
John, would this painting work on a 3 foot by 5 foot?
How many inches is that?
That'd be 36 by 60.
No.
You'd be a little skinnier.
You'd lose too much.
Yeah, you'd have to. You could do it. If you want to do that, let me know. We'll scale it out and see what it looks like.
Yeah, you're gonna have to lose some. Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. So the ending date of the auction is November 10th. Make a note of that. That'd be fun. Moderator Steffi, if you want to do a 3 foot by 5 foot, I would definitely help you make a traceable for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I still think you could add a little bit more to the top. You would not be wrong to even add another inch to the top, so you could balance that out a little bit. And the original photograph, the original photograph, Steffi, is more narrow.
It's more narrow than it is tall.
It's more narrow, and then this one. So maybe between the original photograph and John kind of, we added a little bit to make it work on a 9 by 12 because it was like 9 by 10 or something. That
was a 12 by 8.
12 by 8 instead of that. So anyway,
What's the size of the angle brush you're using right now, Queenie? A 1/2 inch?
1/2 inch, yeah.
1/2 inch. Well, I can tell from here. From the other side of the room.
Yeah, you can tell. There's a little
Andrew believes that a 3 foot by 5 foot is a huge canvas. Come on, Andrew.
Well,
time to think big, buddy.
Yeah, it is though big. But I tell you what, there's just something impressive about large art. That kind of it's an interesting thing. What happens when you have really large art? A little orange in that. Got a little yellow and putting a little light orange in it. A little bit of yellow here, so it's sort of this color in here. Ooh, I don't want that. Let's put a little red with that. Gonna just, okay, let's do this. and that, and this, and let's see, here's some green, a little yellow. Put some green down here on the bottom of the vase, like so. Now, I'll do a little bit of yellow up here. Okay, that's too bright. Do you see what I mean? Do you see how bright that yellow was?
Very
And
bright.
I don't want that. So to tone down yellow, what do? Purple? We'll tone down yellow and give it more of that murky look. Kind of almost turns it into an army green right away. And I want something I want some mixing white in this color here. These Stay Wet palettes are marvelous because this paint's been, we've been using this paint forever. And I'll just put a little of this color down in here too, because this is our top of our vase. There we go. So I see I'm starting to get the murky vase, and this will have to be built up in layers.
It's all about layering. Lights and darks and layering.
And one thing I know for sure is I want something, I'm going to take a little purple and magenta color, and I know I want something dark back in this area by my flowers. I want this to be a little bit darker up in here. Kind of keep it toward the inside, because I can paint the green over that. I want this to be a little darker. A little bit more for the contrast. And like so. Okay. Now, there's the thing about something like this is you've got to realize that you've got to take a moment to like dry it. I mean, for instance, like the top of my vase, this is some zinc white, and I love these angle brushes because they hold that edge. Like right up here, you're going to see the top of this vase. And right here, there's a little bit of like zinc white just coming this way down this side like that. I'm going to just flatten it out here and lighten this up a little bit, just a little bit, just kind of exaggerate it.
Just a skosh.
And I want to bring this up like that, all the way up. There you go, like this. And if you run out of paint, it's okay. You want a continuous line. You've got to have a continuous line because the thing of it is that your water line's right here. Okay? Your water line's right here, and we're going to do a little bit of orange on that. There you go. There's our water line. Not continuous, but a little bit of orange for the water line. And I want a little bit of color right there. So as we layer in the vase, and it's not tedious. It's just you've got to understand where you're coming from. Like for instance, you see this little triangle right here that's yellow, that's very light. Like right in here, there's a triangle that's very light. Well, that's more paint than I want, so I will wipe that off and maybe add a little bit of yellow oxide to it. Okay. There's my triangle of light right here. And let's smudge that with my fingers. Maybe go this way a little bit. So you don't want all one color. I guess that's what I'm saying. You do not want all one color in this, for sure. Then that's where, and then when we put the stems in, that's where some of the lighter colors will come in. And let's see, we want to put a little more burnt umber out on this palette.
I'd like to thank Candy for the donation that came through PayPal, and also Tammy. Thank you for doing an extra lesson for us. Looking forward to the new auction.
Oh, thank you very much. And Tammy, that's very kind, and we most appreciate it. We really appreciate this. I tell you what, it's just, this has been sort of one of those weeks where we appreciate the help, right? So I know that I want something a little bit lighter right here. See where my table is? So I'm going to just come like here, like that, and back this way.
Kim joined us. I'm very, very late. You need to go to the principal's office and get a note. Remember you had to do that?
Yeah.
Those were the days.
I know. When Cinnamon was in kindergarten, she came home from school and they pinned the note on her dress because they didn't trust her to get it home, I guess. And you'd think it was the scarlet letter. I mean, this kid was so upset. She was just, she had felt she had. Her comment was she felt these people. She was always like that. Cinnamon was one of those people. She's always like that. She's about, just almost the queen of justice. You know what I mean? She just, she said they never said I couldn't leave school. She felt if they were going to punish her for the rules, and I thought that she had a point that they might have mentioned that you can't leave. Of course, you can imagine how panicked they were.
In kindergarten, you wouldn't think you'd have to.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, when she went to kindergarten, all the other mothers were hugging and dragging their kids into the building, and she's looking at me going, "See ya, Mom," and she couldn't leave fast enough, right? So then fast forward, I'm going to have a little fun with her today. Fast forward to trying to think of some other examples where she just felt misunderstood, right? Oh, her driving test. That was fun. She explained to me that her answers were correct and these other people were all wrong. And I'm going, well, that may be true. We're not talking logic here. We're talking the government, right? And they have to make this where everybody understands it. Apparently you didn't, but you have to go with, even if it's screwy, you have to do what they say. Just if you want to drive. Now, of course, if you don't intend to drive, then it really doesn't matter what you do, right? But that was so funny. I'm sorry. But it was funny to me, right? That was the sort of, this is not right. And I remember there was a time when we were, as a family, we were no longer allowed to eat tuna fish because
tuna fish.
Because they were
the dolphin.
The dolphins were being caught in the tuna fish's net, and she saw, and nowadays, if you think that's bad, her son, the kids see all of that now. I mean, I don't know how she even saw that stuff, but now the kids are all know. They know what's up and they know what's wrong. And boy, you'd better not be wrong.
They have the internet. Look at the information they have.
Yeah, they have it, and you can't. Well, I guess you can fool them, but not easily.
Not easily. No, they'll look it up.
They'll look it up, right? And they'll look it up, and it doesn't matter. They can. The thing of it is, when we were kids, if we thought our teacher was wrong, we had no way to challenge them. Well, that's not right, but you couldn't really challenge them because you didn't have any way to prove it, right?
No, you didn't.
You felt it was wrong, and maybe your mother said it wasn't true either, but that didn't count. Mom doesn't think you're right. Doesn't fly. Never been a good. Never been a good reason for something not being right. But anyway, so you see how we just doing this next layer on the board here, and gave our vase a little time to dry too. How fun is that? Okay.
I was wondering what we were doing.
Yeah, well, and then
we were just chatting.
Well, we're chatting too. We're just chatting about stuff, which was funny, She just and then so she was a riot during that time. And one of my favorite ones, like this, as long as we're telling kids stories about Cinnamon, which is fun. It's always fun when I'm painting. I reminisce. Was that you just have to appreciate the difference. There is a difference. I know people don't like to hear this, but there really is a difference from early on in the way boys and girls think. And maybe they learn it really fast from their parents, but I remember going over to a friend's house, and Cinnamon was about 4, and there's a lot of snow in Aspen, and they had just gotten these little, they look like snowmobiles, but you had to push them. They were like little plastic things, little tiny things for kids, and they had a couple of those, and they invited the kids, were all in their snowsuits. John Paul, who was also the same age, and Cinnamon were having what we call a play date, and we didn't call it that then.
No, they weren't play dates back then.
But they were playing, and John Paul kind of lived out in the country and had a long snowy driveway, not real steep, but you could certainly play on that, right? So anyhow, Cinnamon's having a blast with this. Because we lived in a condo with no yard, so she's having a blast out there in her little snowsuit and with John, and they're playing with the sleds. And then she gets down to the bottom of the hill and she looks back and she goes, "Hey, come get me." And he says, "What? I'm stuck," she says. "I'm stuck." John looked at her like, "So?" Just
and
so.
And your point's what,
Why is this my problem? "Come get me," she says. "I'm stuck." Just, and he looked totally exasperated, but it realized that he was going to have to come get her because she was
'Cause she
stuck,
was
and that was
stuck.
his job. And somebody said, "Don't you think that's kind of?" I said he probably ought to earn early on. That's how it goes. Good lesson early on. You, yes, of course he had to come get her. Anyway, that was funny. Probably today that wouldn't happen. They would just not do it. All right, so I put that brush down, and I want to do something else. Any questions, John? Sorry to rattle on about the kids, but they're so fun.
Oh, no. No. That's what they're here for, listening to cinnamon stories.
Cinnamon stories. Well, it's like when she wanted to. Cinnamon was one of those kids that was extremely. I'm just wiping off the extra stuff here. She was extremely lucky, and they had there were like 6 kindergarten classes in Aspen way back in that time, 1970s. Like all these kindergarten classes, and so apparently there was a turtle that floated around between all the classes, and she wanted to know if she could enter to win the turtle. It had to have parents' permission, sign the permission slip. I'm going, sure. I mean, I'm thinking, what are the odds that she'll ever get that silly turtle? She can do that, right? Guess who was catching flies all summer for this turtle? Us, Dad and I. And then I remember she went to an auction one time for a raffle up at the state fair, and suddenly ended up with what did we end up with? A rooster, something else that she won. Some sort of chicken that she won. I don't know why we ended up. There've been a lot of stuff like that she did. All right, I'm going to take a little bit of the raw sienna and white. I'm going to put a stem right here like that. And like that. I'll put another one. I love this. This is the 1/2-inch brush. Look at all the things you can do with it.
That's not the 1/2 inch, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the 1/2-inch.
Wow, that's a great brush.
That's a great brush because if you can do all of this stuff with it. And
but you do want to see how she's doing it. You want to make sure your angle is going the right way. Don't go against the toe. You'll stub your toe.
Yeah, you want to I'm going to put a little bit of green with the kind of outline them a little bit. It's a 2-colored operation here.
I'd like to thank Giovanna for the donation that came in through PayPal. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. And,
it came up. Snoops the cat. Is that a tutorial?
Yeah, Snoops the cat. Yes.
Is that a tutorial?
Yes, Snoops the cat is.
Is it?
It was on YouTube. It was our oldest video on YouTube.
Oh, you have to go back to 2016.
One of our oldest ones.
Okay.
I think I took the one down of the Calico Cat, but Snoops was right up there. Maybe not even that far back, right?
So he's up there somewhere. It's not called that though.
No, I just thought he looked like a Snoops, didn't he? It's not called Snoops.
Snoops.
I make Judy crazy when I do this because she has
to find
stuff.
Well, you give a title, I give a title, then Charlie calls it something totally different.
And then Judy says, "What are we calling this?"
Whatever.
She's putting the stuff in Pinterest, and she's going, "I'm sorry, Ginger. What are we calling this again?"
We all have a different opinion of what it should be called. That's all.
So, yeah, we added some brown in here too. See the little brown stems, not just those stems, but little brown ones. Some flipping up like this. Okay. So that was funny. Yeah, that was again, it's all about layering. See, it's kind of, you don't have to get that clever. You just have to take a moment and just try it. Now look at that thin line. And I want you to know that I'm pulling not with my wrist, but my whole arm, my whole shoulder's moving.
The whole thing.
The whole thing is moving. The whole shoulder's moving. All right. So your arms are mostly, everything else stays still. Okay. So we need some brighter green. So we're going to take some cad yellow and some phthalo green. That's that, right? And we're going to make a pretty bright green here. That's not phthalo. Where's phthalo green? Is this phthalo green? Yeah, there you go. We're going to put some white with that. And more yellow. I want a light, bright green here. and a little raw umber so it doesn't get in your face with the bright green. So we can tone it down a little bit. We're going to come here like this, and just using that same brush, I'm going to go ahead and put in some leaves. And you'd think that was tricky. You just kind of push it and lean it in. Practice this.
It's one of the things you should practice. Get some 6x8 canvas sheets and just practice doing that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah. Don't be afraid to go over your flowers.
Now we're going to have 3 contests running of drawings in this particular show.
Did we ever finish the story about the print?
Oh, probably not.
We started about the print and then we got sidetracked. Yes? We're going to be doing these prints. And we want to know, we're going to have some obviously for sale, but we're going to be, someone will win one of our prints too. In this drawing, it's not just the Salvador Paint and this painting, which will run for this painting. All of that stuff will happen at the drawing will happen at the end of the auction. Okay, and what? Okay.
So what the hashtags you're going to want, depending upon what you want to participate in. The painting that she's currently working on right now, use hashtag auction. A Salvador Paint kit, Salvador kit. And if you want a print, yet to be decided, will be hashtag print.
And we're kind of curious to say, because these are going to be really nice. I'm not sure about the sizes or anything we're making them. So, but we thought that, they're a really nice thing to give as a gift too. And look at that. See how you can just twist. You see how I'm pulling the brush and just twisting it to a point, and there's no water on the brush. Okay. Just want to make that clear. And I'm just getting more paint and changing the leaves a little bit. You notice the direction of them. It's just kind of flat here, and then it comes down forward. See how I changed that one? Overlap that. Maybe got
That's how you create your depth.
Yeah, so then, so they'll probably some of the lighter, and then maybe I'll add a little bit of light. I can change colors a little bit. Sometimes you can add like a little zinc white, and it will lighten something up with not a lot. For instance, maybe this leaf is lighter on top. This one's going to come up here like this. Put a little zinc white on this one. This one too. Let's bring it over that. So you thought from looking at this that this was a pretty difficult painting, didn't you? I'm kind of looking at it. It seemed like might be more of a challenge than you were up for.
Well, you're making it look so simple.
And just, vary your greens a little bit. I want this one to come around here like that. And maybe I want that color, a little bit of that color on the stem. Don't be afraid to just...
This is basically a study in greens.
Yeah, it is kind of a study in greens, right? We've got this light vase. I almost could do it a little bit lighter by the vase, but I can still do that.
We'd like to thank Brenda for the donation that came through PayPal. Thank you, Miss Brenda.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you very much. And here's the thing, we, like I say, we've got a little bit of a challenge going here with our air conditioning that we had to just unexpectedly replace the whole thing. So the auction is dedicated to the air conditioner.
Dedicated.
And
in memory of the old one.
Yeah, and the air conditioner, and trying to cover the cost of this new one. All right, so see, I'm really pretty happy with that. I'm not quite done with the flowers, but I'm pretty happy with how that worked, right?
I think you've done a marvelous job.
And I think I needed to bring that vase down a little bit. Here, this bottom of this vase kind of got off my line a little bit. All right, so now, of course, the chalk marks can all be removed, right? We can remove the chalk marks when it's all dried up. We'll remove the chalk marks. Let's see, where else can I put a little bit of this color? Okay, so now I'm going to rinse the brush, and I want to go back. I want a dry brush again, so I'm going to go back to another brush. Here's just a Bristol-on. It's just a bright silver Bristol-on, and I want to lighten up the green here by my vase, right, like this. Okay, and this is the second layer.
So it's really a third.
Well, yes, the third actually, isn't it?
But who's counting? John, are you two passing out candy at Halloween and dressing up? No.
We don't do that.
And no.
No, not so much.
We've done that.
You know, John, I guess, used to do that with his wife and, you know, with his son.
That was the biggest holiday for those two, Charlie and Karen.
Yeah.
Oh my.
You know, just you're talking to
I was a funny day on that
Scrooge over here. He doesn't do that. Though I thought it was interesting. Do you remember back when I was a kid, there was some sort of scare. Do you remember? I don't know if you guys remember that, about somebody putting like a razor blade in an apple.
Yeah.
And then what happened was that then everybody went to wrap candy and everybody panicked. And did you know it wasn't true?
Really?
Yeah, it was some guy was trying to. It wasn't true. It never happened. He was just trying to. It was some guy did it for his kids, you know, and he made it all up. You could Google that, but the last thing I read about that was an all made up thing. Okay, which is, you know. But boy, everybody believed it, and they all went nuts. Well, of course, the problem was once you had thrown it was like the first time anybody hijacked an airplane. Yep. Once you threw the idea out there, then everybody goes, "That's an idea."
Yeah, exactly.
And so you pretty much had to, because then you had let what is the expression? Let the cat out of the bag, so to speak. Yeah.
Letting the cat out of the bag.
So then,
what is the cat doing in the bag, anyways? We don't even go there.
Yeah. You know, we don't know. But anyway, that you had to let him out. There you go. So I'm going to just kind of lighten this around a little bit here, like that. So I got a little bit more of the glow, which I sort of wanted here, maybe.
It makes it stand out now.
Yeah, it kind of does. And here's like a little bit of zinc. This is like the zinc white here.
Maybe we'd like to thank Bella or B. Rose for the donation that came in through PayPal.
Oh, thank you very much.
And really enjoyed your last kitty cat you did, speaking of kitty cats.
Oh, yeah, I really love cats. Can you tell? You know, I've always liked cats.
Gwen says her cats are always playing with the grocery bags. So I guess the cats go in the bag.
Yeah, they like to get in the bag. They have such a sense of humor. They really do. Cats are very smart. Everybody says dogs are smart, and I'm not saying they're not, but I'm just saying, boy, you can get a smart cat. They do great smart things. So there.
Cats. Well, I guess we've heard about the cat situation.
Cats do great smart things.
Will they fish the newspaper for you?
Well,
will they chase a burglar away?
Oh, you know what? The Egyptians used to use cats to guard their temples. So there used to be a cat, and it wasn't tigers either. There used to be that's been lost. But that animal, I don't know, somebody probably knows about it, but I remember that. Again, layering it out here. Let's see. I want just a little bit more of a glow here around this vase. Oh yeah, isn't that fun? Yeah, that's fun. Just barely touch it up here like that. There you go. Just end too abruptly. Okay, so we got that. Okay, so keep working. That brush is now retired. While this is drying, and I want to take off some of this chalk, let me show you a couple other auction pieces real fast. because I thought that they were so terrifically fun.
Gwen says that her cats chase bad people away in Dog Boy.
But
Well, she has a whole herd of them. She's a rescue cat person.
if you guys remember, this was actually a YouTube.
Are we doing show and tell?
Show and tell. This was a YouTube.
Oh, I remember that one.
Remember this?
I like that. I mean, that
It's
was
a
really
really,
good in that frame.
if you've got a Southwest series and a Western series, these cactus, look at the purple colors in this. Look at the beautiful colors, all dry brushed into this painting. It's on YouTube called a Yellow Cactus Rose or something, right? Which I really think is fun. And speaking of that, it's probably not the right frame for that one. Probably need a darker frame.
I don't know. It didn't look bad.
Didn't look bad.
I don't
Maybe
think so.
here was a, this was a recent YouTube lesson, 8x10, in there, and I'll tell you what, this ducks. If you guys remember, clean that frame up. You guys remember the ducks?
I like the
This
duck.
was a YouTube duck
in that
picture.
frame,
That
too.
looks really nice. And these fun kind of aged wood frames we found at Jerry's Artorama, by the way. They came in all kinds of sizes.
Sizes and colors. I had pink one.
Yeah, they had some pretty colors. I just didn't think. I almost bought a pink one for some of our pink flowers, but I didn't think, that was that productive. And let's see, what about this one? I don't think that one. I think this one needs a dark wood frame, which we do have. We have those, but we remember last. Let me just put something down. You remember just Tuesday we did this one, and we decided to add it to the auction as this. We thought that would be a nice one to add. So if you haven't seen some of those, and you might like it.
Certain days Ginger has her tutorials. Normally we're on Monday only. Monday at 5:30 Central.
It's true. That's a normal thing, right?
That's a normal thing. Occasionally we do these things just out of the blue, so it's always good to subscribe and hit that little bell so you'll be notified when we go live.
Yeah, that's right.
And
That would be a
subscribe to
good
our
thing to
newsletter.
do, right? Because we have these things, and then, like, for instance, like I said, if you missed us early on, this was it's a painting we've never done as a tutorial. Here's another one that we have never done as a tutorial. This
I think
little
we'll do
river.
that one bigger. I like that one.
John, some of these are just studies I do, and sometimes I do them as tutorials, and sometimes not. Never done this was a tutorial.
I think we'll make that an 18 by 24.
But John just feels like there's something kind of nice about
I just
this
like that
calm
one.
river and the people that are lucky enough to live by water. You guys, Andrew and some of you guys that live by water, and like Lorraine does too, and Malta. But something nice. There's something magical about living by water. There's just a few of the paintings. You'll have to go and check some of the others. But this one, I love this one. This swing, and this was we never released a video on this. It was a backup for one of our quarantine quickie shows where we weren't going every day for like 2 months.
In case one of us got sick.
In case somebody got sick, and so that was one. And so there's a tutorial out there, but we've never released it. So anyhow.
Yeah, the next question is, can we find that tutorial? Probably not.
Probably couldn't even find it again. Yeah. So anyway, that's some of the original pieces we have on that, and
just to keep you apprised of the situation.
Yeah. So what I want to do is that this is dry enough. You have anything you can show people? Because I think I'm okay if I just take.
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, I do. One moment, please.
I want to just dry this. I want to remove the chalk, but I don't want to remove the paint. Yeah.
Yeah. So hold on a second. Let me fire my guy back up again. Hold on. There we go. Shifting over. Okay. Muting the queen. All right. What we've got here is our main website, acrylic painting with gingercook.com. And what I wanted to show you, what we're working on is a category list right here. You go there, and what you're going to see is we're starting to have different categories. These are the ones still to be done. You can see I've done 3 in this row, and we have 2 more rows to go. But let's say you want to go to animals. So you hit the animals. And you see all the different animals. You want to be turned back on? Okay, you're muted. So what we have here is we have all the animals under this one, or the birds, bugs, cats, desert, dogs. Let's go to the dogs. So you click on the dogs, and this will be all the dog paintings that we've done. You can go back to the animal list. So you want to go cats instead. So you bring the cats up, and that's the cats we've got. You want to go back to the main category list, go over to this one over here that says category list, and that brings you back out to the parent. So as we get more of them up there, you'll see we have palette knife people, seasons, snow globes, etc. And we keep adding to them. We will also have it so you can find lessons by size. And they will have its own little page too. So these are all the 9x12. You can have a lot 9x12. Down here at the bottom, you see you can change what number, what page. There's 4 pages of 9x12s. 6x8s. There's a lot in that because that's the main one we use for YouTube. You have 8 pages of those. So just thought I'd share that with you in case you're not familiar with that. Again, at acrylicpaintingwithgingercook.com under lesson listing category lists. And now back to the show.
All right, so I'm looking at this now. 10 chance to dry. We wipe off the extra chalk. Okay. So now what I want to do is continue this line crossed here like that. Just like that. Just continue the line of the water line. It's got to go in front of the stems, otherwise it doesn't look like it's in them, you know. They're in the water, yeah. Makes sense.
Oh,
yeah.
There's a whole section of ODGs. There's 33 ODGs currently, and they'll be broken down by alphabetically in groups. That's a big group. That's going to take me forever to do.
I'm going to
Yeah,
put a
ODGs will be there, absolutely.
light streak here.
We think we've got everything covered, but if you have any questions or comments, please let us know if you're looking for something in particular. Because one came up, we didn't think to do size, but a couple people have asked for it, so we changed it and added size. We are here to educate.
Yeah, and I'm telling you what, you guys are doing great. Now I feel like my flower is sort of up there, and it's nice.
But
I feel like it needs a friend or something. It's just, you know, just because it's in the photograph doesn't. Let's just put a little yellow up in here too. There you go in the center of that flower.
It can't be improved upon.
Yeah, just because the photographer said, you know, that was his vase. You don't know, he doesn't know what you know, and so I think we need another flower right here to just balance it right down here like this. I think we need another one coming down.
There's a couple that she showed are not in the auction yet. The kid is not, and the one with the stream is not. Those were late arrivals, and I didn't get them scanned in yet. They will be there, though. Like I said, we will be adding more paintings and prints and things to the auction site over the weekend.
We lost a bit of a day.
A bit of a day?
We lost a day
whole
and a half.
day.
The whole day.
Of a day.
We lost all of Monday, and then it's scrambling. I mean, just everything scrambling and over this air conditioner nonsense. So, you know, that was unfortunate, but just the way it went, right? So let's see. I want a little more white
Not what I
paint
expected
here.
to come home to was a 92-degree studio.
Yeah, and this is a shame because the auction was supposed to, our holiday auction is what we usually, that's how we raise money to, you know, get the new cameras that we're saving up for, the new computers
and all the new gear that we
all
get
the new equipment. You'd think it would go for Christmas, but it goes for all the new equipment that we need to, you know, keep going. And see how much better that looks there, even if we put like a little bit of green over the back of it.
Just give a little bit more depth, a little more.
Yeah,
feel.
it just absolutely needed that. And it just needed that flower there to sort of base. And then of course in the photograph he's got another little flower down here that's sort of laying on its side, and you just twist the brush around so that the heel is toward the center of the flower, and if you have to rotate the canvas, do that, and it's a little bit higher on. If you thought about a clock, 6 o'clock, 12 o'clock is a little bit higher than it was. It's not quite a circle, in other words. Yeah, not quite a circle. And then we've got this dark green stem here that's kind of going off this way. And I like that, don't you? I always like a little bit of extra fun. And then we've got a couple of leaves, because what happens when the I'm not pushing, now I'm pushing hard. See what happens? I'm lifting up. See that? Not pushing, pushing hard, lifting up. Okay, what happens with the when you have a kind of more green water is the chances are you've lost a few leaves. Then we've got one coming back this way on the ground, and we'll make that a little bit lighter because it's in front. So far, so good. Yes and yes. And let's something light right here. Something light right there. So where else could I always ask myself, where else could I put this color? Could I lighten that leaf up there? Because again, acrylics dry darker. Sometimes you think you've got it. Maybe this leaf needs to come down over the top of this one. Right there. Okay. Yes and yes. Then, you guys thought this would take a long time. We appreciate the fact that you're hanging in there, but it doesn't take very long to do something like this. You'd think it would take a lot longer, but it doesn't. You take some zinc white like this, and then what you got to do is you got to wipe it off on something. So like that. And then because this brush was damp, we're going to wipe the brush off and do this one more time. A little zinc white. I'm going to wipe it. There you go. That's what I want. Okay. So now I'm going to just do right like that. See what that did? Because it's very thin. It's transparent. No, you can't use up. You have to have zinc white or what they call mixing white to do this. And there's this is still the vase up here. So we're going to come down like that over that. See how that just pushes that vase? And even though the photograph didn't have it as such, we're going to do another one right like that. Just because we can. Just because we can. Let's say that's the other side of this, and maybe I'll just do this. There you go. Very neat vase, right? Yes and yes.
A stunningly beautiful vase.
And again, I'm happy you're watching. I know probably one of you is going to have this in your home. You're going to win this. Again, John will, read our, we'll do another couple drawings. I mean, we'll feature this Monday's show too. And
just remember to use the hashtags if you're interested in the drawing. Hashtag
we thank everybody that's been helping us tonight. Thank you very much. And then participating in the auction too. Thank you, because it makes it, that's really so helpful. Now, let me just zoom in on this. What I noticed was right here, if I can zoom in on it. Here's a tip. If you're not watching your paintings on an iPad, I know some of you like to do it to TV and everything, which is good, but when you get down to the nitty-gritty of painting it, the thing about an iPad is that you can make the picture bigger. Like, for instance, if you're looking at a photograph, you can zero in on a spot and say, I just noticed that there was a little bit of green right here. Let's see, where's the yellow? I just noticed there was a little bit of green on my water line right there, see? Or that maybe this was a little greener because this is dried now, right? And what else did I just notice? I just noticed that I could do a little bit of just dry brushing on the bottom of this vase. Something right there on this leaf. Ooh, a tiny little bit of yellow in the center of this flower. Okay, just pull a little of that color up there because we can. Okay, and then what else could we put in? Because we're almost done. It's kind of fun, isn't it? What else could we put in? I think that didn't go. Let me just turn this vase upside down for a minute. And you see where I'm kind of cattywampus right here? That's the other trick, is to turn your stuff upside down once in a while. Just see where you are, because I can come up here like this.
Is that where you're seeing the shape and not
Yeah,
where it is?
you're just seeing the shape if you got it right. Because I was a little didn't quite have it right. Okay, that's all right, because I know where it is. Yes. And then for the color surprise, I'm going to take a little bit of purple, maybe kind of magenta purple and white. Right, we need a little bit of color surprise. We're going to add, we'll just add a touch of that. Maybe even do that with like a little shadow right here by that. Put some brown with that. Want a little shadow at the beginning of that leaf here. And there's a little shadow right here that's doing that. Just on the part of there. Let's bring this back. And I think I could lighten this up. I see it in the photo, so let's lighten this up right here. There we go. And make that a little bit more uneven. There we go. And you guys, I think that's our picture.
I think it's a painting.
Our painting. Well,
It's a painting.
whatever it is, I feel like, could we spend more time and do more stuff? But I think we've got it. Now, as we're chatting, let's just put a little white up here, and let's just suggest that there might have been another flower back over here. So I need to put some white. We did the zinc white, but now I want a few little highlights. Just pull it back a little bit. There's some green. Part of me is that one of the reasons our videos take long is because I'm always fooling with it after, and I'm done. This is it, you guys.
No, you're never done.
I think so. I think you guys could do this easily. You want to learn that brushing technique of how, there's a video on YouTube that's really only deals with that, and also a special new one we made in the Academy, and it's how to paint a Van Gogh background. I think that's the title on YouTube, is how to paint a Van Gogh background. And you really do need that. Now, the last tip I'm going to tell you is be sure to, if you're going to frame something, you want to sign so that you're at least a finger's width above that, right? I'm going to sign this right here. Okay.
And we're not done yet. She can still make changes. So that red slash goes in it.
And put the red slash. Thank you for joining us tonight. In the questions below with your hashtag, I would like to know which is your favorite painting in the auction, and what painting would you like to see of all the paintings you think of that we have done. What would you like to see maybe us make some limited edition prints of, and put those in. So your input's important to us. Love to know. And
could this painting be done with a red background?
Well,
it'd be a totally different look.
It would be just totally different painting. And this is why you never do anything big. If you're going to do something like that, well, you get a little 6x8 canvas. Yesterday, I was fooling with a 6x8 canvas, and I found 101 ways not to do it. I thought, for someone that paints as much as I do, I just kept saying, well, wow, what's your center of interest? You got 3 things now. Well, that was stupid. Why did you do that? We all have our little inner voices and talk to it. You don't start off with the red background and see how it goes. Remember, this is a very, very monochromatic painting. There's just some highly tiny little slashes of, splashes of this and that. We kept it very, very subdued. the thing about green is a neutral. My adopted mother was an artist, and she always painted in neutrals and sold her stuff like crazy. Those of you who are looking to sell stuff, because
It goes in every room.
neutrals, greens pretty much go in everybody's house. Browns, beiges, neutrals, golds go. Abstracts seem to sell best if there's a lot of red and black in them. Those of you who are painting abstracts, everybody wants to buy a red and black abstract. I had a publisher one time that said, "Why can't you do me more of those?" I just couldn't bring myself to paint it. Just isn't in my color brain. So sorry. I mean, I could intellectually do it, but not from my soul. How's that? And real quick, I want to thank Janice Skiles with a lovely note. And what Janice has done before we go is she says, thanks very much. She says that she feels bad that she's never able to make donations. I never want anyone to feel bad about that. We understand, and it's been rough on everybody, and so please never feel like that. But what she does is she doesn't ever miss her change. So she puts her change every, from shopping, whatever, in a little jar or something. And at the end of the year, she cashes it out and sends it to us. And I thought that was so nice, Janice. Thank you very much for that. And John has made you all kinds of marvelous, yes, videos.
We're still working.
We're still working.
And she's caught up in the mix of the PAC system going down.
Then the PAC system went down, so none of the videos he said she
So
worked.
we can say that she did it.
It's Janice, give us a day or two on this. We've got it. Okay.
Yeah, I hope we have backup.
And then I want to thank Carol Hughes and again for her donation. Her donation and this cute Happy Halloween card. That's the way you do bats. They're just almost birds with some little spikes.
That's all they are.
So thank you
could
guys.
Have put some bats in this painting.
Did I? Yeah, and I don't think I had. Was this a 9x12 canvas right here?
That is a 9x12 canvas.
So
that is a 9x12 frame for the 9x12 canvas.
Yeah, there you go. Look at that.
It's framed up, ready to go.
Look at that, you guys. See how pretty that would look like in a dark frame. So I hope this was fun. Thanks for joining our impromptu Saturday, Friday, whatever day this is.
We didn't even know what day it is. We get up this morning. She goes, "Well, it's only Thursday, so we got plenty of time." I go, "Plenty of time for what?" It's Friday. The auction starts, and we have a show. What?
What show? We got up at 11 today, so this is how I just. Well, John was up till 4. I was up till 2. So
I was up until 4:30.
Yeah, we're not complaining.
No,
we love you guys.
No, we don't complain.
Thanks for hanging out with us. Share this video with people. Share the love. If you haven't subscribed, do so now. Be sure to comment, and we read everyone. Sometimes I always get around to comment. I read them out loud to John, and there's some of you that write such. You make my day.
And you make my day.
And John's day. And sometimes some of your comments bring us to tears. Thanks very much. Love you guys. Good night.
And remember, give us choices of what you'd like to see prints of, what you want, and what's the other thing? You had 3 things.
Yeah. What was your favorite auction painting?
Oh, yeah. Favorite auction painting, what you'd like to see prints of, limited edition runs, and remember the 3 hashtags that are long gone. So enjoy the comedy from the outtakes of making a commercial for the auction site. What fun. Bye, everyone.
Night.
She did it in 50, people. Look at her go.
Did I say everything?
Yep. I think you did.
Was that okay?
I think so. 20-second spot only takes 30 minutes.
Wait here. One of the features that is offered on our website let's try again. Besides a certificate of authenticity on the paintings, which is really the best feature.
Yes, that alone. I haven't done click on the thumbnail yet.
I did. I said click on the thumbnail.
Okay,
Then I said it because there's a lot. Okay. Another great feature of our auction site is the robotic eviction. Start again. You'd think I drank, wouldn't you? All right, sorry.
All right, here we go.
Another great feature.
You want to go from the robot again, or
Yeah.
try to get that silly robot done?
One of the great features of our auction site is our robotic.
Robotic what? Oh, yes.
Is the option of, let me try.
It's a what do they call it, an automatic bidding system?
Okay, that's better because I can't say robot apparently. And bidding at the same time.
But let's go for the automatic bidding system.
To bid, register to bid. Okay, let me start again. All right. I don't know how I can't.
Close. So close. Almost had it.
God, they couldn't afford to have me make a movie. Be there with a first.
Oh, we could never afford this.
We couldn't afford this. All right, the budget bid for you, and then being able to walk away and not worry that someone has outbid you. Well, that's still good, but
by a quarter. Don't worry about that. What happened to hard hugs from John and Ginger?
let's try that again.
No hard hugs here, people. You're on your own. We had our hugs before.
Okay.
Just for a little hard hug. Just a little one. I'm not talking the times 10 one.
Okay. All right.